All right. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I don't know how many of you guys saw this movie, The Princess and the Frog, but that's what we're going to read about tonight. In the Holy Megillah, the Nazarean Bible of the Essene way, we have what is called the Book of Ishshah, but this entire book is about one day, a day in the way. The Book of Ishshah. Ishshah is the feminine form of the Hebrew word ish, which means man or male person, and is likewise often used as an adjunct and left unexpressed in English. The Nasarean sectarian use of the word Ishah and ish differ from the normative Hebrew. Ishah is the Nasarean sectarian term for a female spiritual entity, a woman in the deepest spiritual sense. And Ish is the Nazarene sectarian term for a masculine spiritual entity, a man in the deepest spiritual sense. For a woman to have Ishah as a personal name is a strong declaration of the absolute and profound femininity of that woman, with the definite implication of perfected womanhood. This is who she was. She has a whole book about her, and it's about one day. And it talks in here about how here follows one day in the life of Ishah while she was still a human. Because when she died, it says that she became the messenger angel of the Mother Earth. So it says she was a Kadisha. But modern Hebrew has corrupted this word and called it a female prostitute, but in the Nasarean sectarian term, it's a holy woman. This is a map of the universe. It shows us that the winter solstice was right there, December 22nd, and look what constellation, Sagittarius. That's exactly what it showed us on the Stellarium program. And look here, this is called the Galactic Center. So yeah, this is a map of the universe. Over here a little bit, it tells you who did it. And all of the observers and observatories of the world, compiled and designed by Thomas J. Filsinger. So y'all might be able to find you a copy of this. I think I seen it on eBay. But I wish I had it. I wish I had a copy to put on my wall so I could just look at it every day, because there's so much information in here. But I'm going to let you look at this part while I read from the Book of Ishshah. The Book of Ishshah, A Day in the Way. This is from the Holy Megillah, Nazarean Bible of the Essene Way. And it says, "Behold the sublime beauty of the loving relationship between Ishshah and the creatures of nature. Yea, behold the example of the Lady of the Forest, she whom the animals loved as their mother. Lo, even the insects and the plants loved Ishshah as mother. The wisest of humankind also embraced the green lady, though the ignorant rejected her. But though the ignorant reject her, the dancing green woman rejects none." It says, "She of the green robe loves every child of creation as her own. Wherefore, it was Ishshah who, after her life as a human, became the messenger angel of the Mother Earth. Yea, consider well her example. For I tell you truly, her example is the path to be walked by all those of the way." Here follows one day in the life of Ishshah, while she still was a human. Yea, behold, one day in the way, a day in the life of Ishshah. Clear eyes will see that in one day Ishshah altered forever the lives of several creatures, and those creatures altered the lives of others, and those ripples continue to land upon the shore of the present, for such is the way. Chapter 2. Ishshah and the Frog. In the early days of Cush, the frogs did not eat insects. Lo, the frogs ate tiny fruits from a plant with heart-shaped leaves that grew beside ponds. Yea, there were many ponds in Cush, and many frogs. But behold, due to the acts of violence of some men, violence began to spread throughout Cush, and many of the animals began to eat each other. And this was when frogs began to eat bugs, all except for one. And this is the story of that frog and the great work given to him by Ishshah, the lady of the forest. Behold, the name of this frog was Ezra, which means help. And Ezra was feeling very sad, for lo, at each pond he visited, he found the same sad thing, frogs eating bugs. Mostly they ate flying bugs. Yea, they would stick out their very long tongues, the same kind of long tongue that Ezra used for picking tiny fruit, and catch the flying insects. And then they ate them. And this made Ezra very sad, for he thought it was mean and unfair. Ezra said to himself, these bugs simply want a drink of water from the pond. We have plenty of water to share, and we have plenty of fruit to eat. We have no need to kill for our food. How unfair is this for the bugs? Behold, in his search for a pond with frogs who did not kill bugs, Ezra became a traveler. Yea, he journeyed throughout Cush, hopping from pond to pond, hoping to find a pond of peace, where frogs and bugs lived in harmony. But try as he did, he never found such a pond. Instead, everywhere he journeyed, he found frogs eating bugs. Then, one bright summer morning, when most frogs were sleeping, Ezra hopped over to a pond and saw an interesting thing. He saw a beautiful woman with red hair and a green robe sitting beside the pond. But she was not sitting. She was doing something with her hands. Ezra sat and watched closely. After some time of watching, Ezra realized what the woman was doing. Behold, she was reaching her hands to the water and rescuing bugs that were drowning. Ezra knew that indeed many bugs drowned each day in that pond. He had often seen their bodies floating atop the water, and lo, sometimes he saw them struggling for survival, moving their arms and legs wildly trying to get out of the water. Usually they drowned. He knew that these bugs had simply been trying to keep a drink of water but had fallen into the pond. But what Ezra did not know was that just before his arrival, the beautiful woman had sent forth a prayer for help. Her name was Ishshah, and she was a Nasarean priestess, and she had been on her morning walk when she came upon this pond. Lo, on such a lovely morning by such a lovely pond, Ishshah felt called to sit and meditate, and so she sat beside the pond and began to meditate. But behold, within the silence of her meditation, she heard a tiny voice pleading for help. Not with her physical ears did she hear this voice, but with her spiritual ears. Her eyes were drawn to the pond, and there, upside down in the water, wings flapping wildly, was a honeybee struggling not to drown. Within her, Isha knew that this was the source of the cry for help. She reached her arm towards the water, and with one finger lifted the bee from the pond and sat him on the shore. Thank you, buzzed the bee, as he dried himself and flew away. Isha sat beside the pond for some time rescuing other drowning bugs, and then she spoke the following words of prayer. Jaja, my God and Goddess transcendent. Elohim, my God and Goddess immanent. I need help. Please, if it is your will, send me a helper who will stay at this pond and rescue these drowning bugs, so that when I leave, the bugs will not be without help. After observing a while, Ezra hopped over to the beautiful woman. Yea, he sat down right in front of her and began to speak. For behold, Ezra sensed within himself that this woman, unlike most humans, could understand his language. And he was right, for Isha was blessed with a special gift. She could understand the languages of all living things, yea, even the grass and the trees and the insects. And she was the best friend of all living things of nature, loving all equally, which is why upon her death as a human, Isha would become the messenger angel of the Mother Earth. Behold, as Ezra spoke to Isha, she listened carefully. He told her of his sadness, how he was the only frog left that ate fruit instead of bugs. He told her how sorry he felt for the bugs that were killed and eaten by his fellow frogs. He told her of his endless journey to find a pond of peace where frogs and bugs lived in harmony. Isha listened not only to the words that he croaked, but also to the unspoken words of his heart. Then, lo, Isha spoke, saying, Your name is Ezra, which means help. And behold, just before you arrived, I sent forth a prayer asking for help. You, dear Ezra, are the answer to my prayer, for I have a great work for you to do if you accept. Ezra replied, croaking happily, "It is the desire of my heart to serve you, my lady. Already my sadness has turned to hope, for I have long desired to help. Tell me, my lady, how can I help?" Ishah replied, "Behold, you have been eating fruit from the plant with the heart-shaped leaves that grows beside the ponds of Cush. Pick a large leaf from that plant and make it your boat. Yea, float upon the pond and use your long tongue to rescue drowning bugs. If you do this work, your other work will be revealed." Ishah then baptized Ezra and taught him many things. When she kissed him goodbye, Ezra felt like a true prince. And lo, Ezra took his duties seriously, for as Ishah had prophesied, as he performed the work of saving drowning bugs, his other work was revealed. Behold, Ezra realized that he had been wrong to travel from pond to pond, always searching for a pond of peace, and always being sad not to find one. He now realized that rather than turn his back on the unpeaceful ponds, he should help at least one pond become peaceful. And so Ezra went about making his own pond more peaceful. He rowed his heart-shaped boat from shore to shore, rescuing drowning bugs. Most of the adult frogs thought he was crazy, but a few of the young frogs were curious about his bug-saving mission and began to gather around him and ask questions. One frog asked him, "Ezra, why do you eat fruit, not bugs?" Ezra explained that fruit was the original food of the frogs before the fall of man caused violence to spread throughout Cush, and so it was that Ezra the frog became a preacher of the Nasarean way. And though most of the adult frogs thought he was crazy, behold, there was one who thought otherwise. Yea, one beautiful female frog. Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But one female frog did not think Ezra was crazy. Lo, she thought him fascinating. Her name was Binah, which means understanding, and she became the wife of Ezra. And Ezra was now a very happy frog. That's the end of chapter 2. The title of chapter 3 is Ishah, the Starving Man, and the Thankful Bee. So that bee that she saved is thankful that she saved him from drowning, remember? And remember how it says in the beginning of this book of Ishshah, it says that in one day she altered the life of many creatures, right? And those creatures altered the lives of others. And those ripples continue to land upon the shore of the present. For such is the way. And this one day in the way was for Ishah not unusual, for every day she walked the way. Yea, each day she blessed the lives of many, forever altering the lives of some. And it is her wish, yea, even her prayer, that you will join her on the path of blessing. But she loves you regardless, for that is her way. Receive now a day in the way.